Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make capture the flag maps in Fortnite Creative. This tutorial will include how to make a class system in your game as well as the perfect capture the flag settings. If you find this tutorial helpful, be sure to subscribe, it goes a long way. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay guys, so first things first, you're going to want to sort of get the layout of your map going. An important thing is to have two sides differentiating in color, but generally being around the same design. So as you can see on my map, I have this blue side, which pretty much looks identical to the other side, the red side, other than the color. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now and change into a different world and show you guys how to build the spawn room, which is where you'll also be setting up classes. Alright guys, so I'm here on Grid Island 1, and what I'm going to be doing is building one of the spawn rooms for you, just so you can see the exact measurements and layouts that you'll need perfectly, thanks to these grids here. And just before I go and build that, I will show you how the spawn room is supposed to work. So pretty much you spawn in, you get set with these options here, and I'm going to go ahead and walk into Archer class. And as you can see, my health changes, and I automatically picked up those weapons without pressing anything on my keyboard or on my controller. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this gallery right here and throw it down. You can use whatever gallery you want, have whatever design you want, but this will be used to show you the layout of things. Alright, so your length across here is going to be determined based on how many classes you want. So if we're going to go with the 5 class system, it's going to be 5 wide in this area. Alright, so next up you're going to want a 5 wide layer like this, and then have it going 3 long. This area is where you're going to be putting your spawn pads. So we'll set 8 down. You want to leave some space in between them and the classes, because the classes are going to be going right here. You leave that space because then they're able to see all the classes just facing this way. They don't have to turn or anything. Now this area is where they drop into their class, and I saw this piece and figured it would actually be a cool way to do it. So I'm going to put that there. It doesn't really matter as long as they're landing in front of the air vent, and I'll show you what I mean. So next up you're going to want to put walls back here, and then more floors here. Now, it's important this area stretches at least 5, and this is because you have to deal with the items they're going to get, as well as leaving a space in between the air vent and the first weapon. Alright, now you're going to want to put walls in between each row. Now that you have this layout, you're going to want to start getting more technical. So we're going to throw down the air vent prefab. Delete those because this is the guy we want. You want to turn him on his side and make sure that he's behind whatever hole they're dropping down. So if you decide to use this piece or one of the broken pieces, whatever it is, make sure that it's halfway in the ground and behind the hole they're dropping. Now, let me warn you, do not try using the air vent when you're not flying in editing mode, because it will actually break its surroundings. So make sure you only test it when the game is started. So from there, you're going to want to get item spawners and throw them down. If you want them to have 3 weapons, you can put 3 down. If you want them to have 4, you can stretch it out another way, just like this. But for now, we'll say they only have 3 weapons. For capture the flag, it's important that they only have up to 4, because if they have 5, they're not going to be able to pick up the flag. So now it's time to create the drop down area. What this is basically, this is going to be where the elimination zone is placed to change their health. Alright, so grab a damage volume or elimination zone and put it there. And that's basically going to be what your spawn room looks like. Down here you can have the main entrance area, which is what I did. You can design that however you like, but this is going to be the basic look. So I'll give you another fly round of the spawn room area and what it's going to look like without a roof or anything. Now I'll go hop back into the ancient Greece map and mess around with settings with you guys. So for this class we're going to be doing ninja just like it was on the other side of the map. So now that we have our spray here, what we're going to want next is to grab a sign from the devices area. It's right here. And let's just throw that down. I recommend centering it and turning off the border as well as turning the background color to clear. There we go. That gives her a nice clean look. Now, after this, you're going to want to make sure you're grabbing the right one. And then you're going to want to list the weapons that go along with this. So now that you have that all done, what you're going to want to do is start working on the class weapon system here. So to start, we're going to get the speed boost down, because the speed boost is what's going to give the ninja the advantage in this case. Next, we're going to want to get the grind power up, which is right here. Let's throw it down. It looks like a thing of fries. We're going to put it basically right in the middle here. Now, to make sure that they always pick this up, you're actually going to want to adjust the settings on it. So you're going to want to turn pickup radius to, I'd say, 0.75. Just so that they don't get it when they're above here, but they do get it as soon as they drop down. So we decided for the ninja class, the first weapon we're going to be choosing is the crossbow. So all you got to do is throw the crossbow in here, and then watch very carefully as I adjust the settings on this. So what you're going to want is item respawns on, random spawns off, visible during games off, time before first spawn instant, time between spawns 1 second, bonus ammo for weapons, that can be on, that can be off, it doesn't matter. You're going to give them a set amount of ammo anyways, like 900 basically. But you need to have run over pickup on, okay? You need to have it on. Item visibility, you can put it to 1 or 2. 2 is good because it's easier to pick up that way when they're running through it, just to make sure they don't miss, but we'll get to that later. Alright, now that those are in there, you're going to want to make sure that the players are forced to run through this exact area. Alright? So what that means is you don't want them hitting the air vent and then sliding down the side and missing all these items. They have to be running over it. So as you can see on this side over here, I used these, which match the wall, to force them to go down this path. So let's do the same. Okay guys, so we're going to try and find the prefab that I used for that specific block. You can use pretty much whatever you want as long as it restricts them into that area. But what I did is I used this piece right here. And then I increased the size. Now once we've enlarged it, we're going to want to turn it. Go to pitch. And now what I found is best is having it pretty much that much in on the fan area. And then you're going to want to put 2 of them down. So for the ninja class, I decided that they would only have 100 HP, which means this should only do 200 damage, because as you can see, if you look at my health bar, I have 300 health, and I'll get to that in a second. So this automatically goes to damage 200. Now be sure to change it from elimination to damage over time, and then do the tick rate to 1 second. Alright guys, so now that this whole area is set up, we're gonna put in the spawn pads. So depending on how many players you want in your game, we're gonna put in 8, that way it's a total of 16 players, but that doesn't mean it has to be 16 players to play. So let's grab more spawn pads and put them all down. Now in the spawn pad settings, what you're gonna want to do is turn them to team 1. And you can decide whether you want them visible in game or not. I'm just gonna turn it off, that way the room looks nicer. Alright, there you go. The spawn room is now ready to go. Okay guys, now for the final step, we're going to go and set up the team inventory devices. So I've put mine under here just so no player can get to it, which sort of makes it the best place to put it. Now for the video, I'm going to destroy it and start again just so you guys can see what goes on in the settings. Inventory device, place her down. So what this does is basically anything you put in this is the loadout players will spawn with when they're on this team. So we're going to want to give them a lot of ammo. So I'm just spamming all these. Alright, so what we're going to do now is just drop all this ammo in. And basically that means you don't have to have infinite ammo on, but you can also give them a lot of ammo. So what you can do in here is very cool. You can give them a team name. For sake of the tutorial, we'll name them Team Blue. And then you can set their team. So for the blue team, you're going to want to set them to Team 1. For the team color, you're going to want to set it to, in my case, blue. Grant on respawn, you're going to want to say yes or on. Visible during games, doesn't matter. Bonus ammo for weapons, there are no weapons in here, doesn't matter. Starting health is what you're going to want. You're going to want to turn that to 100%. And then max health, you're going to want to do 100 health. And then starting shields, 100%. Max shields, 200 shields, and then with the 100 health, with the 200 shields, that's going to equal 300 total health. So that is basically all set up. For the other side, you're basically going to want to do the same, except name them red. You're going to want to change the team 2, and then you want to change their team color. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you how to set up the flags. So first off, you're going to want to choose a building to have the flag in. I recommend not having the flag in the spawn building because that's going to create a bad environment of players respawning and instantly being at their flag to defend it, or players being spawn killed because they're near where enemies are. So I recommend just having a whole other building or a whole separate area to keep your flag in. So what I'm going to do for this map is I'm going to keep the flags in these pretty areas right here. So first off, you're going to want to get the flag from consumables. Now what this does is when you hold the flag in your hand, it's going to basically make it so you can't switch to any other gun in your loadout. If you can hear, I'm trying to switch, I can't. It acts like a pickaxe, so you can deal damage, but it's only pickaxe damage. And it's the perfect thing you want to use for these type of maps. I'm going to go ahead and drop it right now just so I can get everything else set up. So what you're going to want is a capture item spawner, as well as a capture area. And I'll explain why you need both in a second. So let's throw the capture spawner down first. This is basically right where you want it. You want to go and get your flag. Grab the flag and drop it into the capture spawner. So as you can see there, it's now spawning here, and if you want it to look nice, you can rotate it just like that. So now for the settings. So this is what spawns the flag. This is not what captures the other team's flag, and that's a very big distinction that you have to make clear. So the friendly team for this, we decided blue is team 1, and it's being captured by hostile teams. So be sure to change that. The accent color, you can set it to aqua or sky blue or team color, and that's what I'm going to set it as right now, because basically what that'll do is it'll go to whatever color you have set in the team inventory device. Score value, we're going to come back to the score value. Right now we'll set it to 0. Return dropped items. So what this means is when a player picks up your flag and you kill them and the flag drops, you can set it so that after a certain amount of time after the flag's been dropped, it automatically will teleport back to the spawner. Now this is a setting I recommend because it makes for a lot more interesting plays. So we're going to set return dropped items after, I'd recommend 3 or 5 seconds. We'll set it to 5 seconds for now. So we'll turn play capture sounds, we'll keep those on. Show capture message, we'll keep that on, because what that does is it sets in the chat when someone picks up your flag. And that's a really good thing to know because you're able to change your playstyle based on that. So now that we have that all set up, we're going to throw down a capture zone. We'll just do so right here. Before we go and put it right on top of the flag, we'll change the settings right now. So we decided it was team 1. We're going to change this to team color. Basically the accent color is this ring around it. We'll change that to team color. Score value we'll set as 1. Capture radius, let's do 1 tile. 1 tile is good. Player capture. So what player capture means is it's if a player's in it, are they earning points? That's not the type of capture area we want. We're gonna keep that off. Player capture item filler. This means they need a certain item while they're in it to get points. That is not the setting we're looking for. Player capture time, how long it takes for a player to capture. Again, not the second we're looking for. Again, not the setting we're looking for. We're going to keep that on 1 second. Item visible in game. What this means is the item inside, is it visible, is it not visible? So we're going to pick up our second flag. We're going to get on top of here and we're going to drop it in. Now when you drop it in, it'll automatically have this cool hologram outline, and basically that just shows it knows it's meant for capture the flag. Alright guys, so now we have the capture area around the flag, we have the flag. The only thing we're missing now is a nice little arrow that shows where the flag is. So you can pick those up in the beacon gallery, which looks just like this. Now, I like using the arrows because they're pretty straightforward. They don't get in the way. So let's put one right here. Alright guys, finally we're going to go over the settings that you'll want for your capture the flag map. So first off, I recommend having the team set to 2. That's a simple way to do it. Teams will automatically split evenly, as even as they can get. Voice chat, this depends how competitive you want it. The more competitive you go, you could do teams and you can have actual like team communication. But if you're doing it just for fun, you can have it set to all. That way everybody can talk. Spawns, you want infinite. After last spawn, go to spectator. This setting doesn't matter. You won't have any last spawns. Total rounds, you can change how many rounds you want. Seriously, it doesn't matter. I just set it to 1, and then if we want to play another, we just start the game. But it's whatever you want. You can have team rotation set every round, whatever. That's something you can mess in on your own. That's something I don't really mess with. Alright, so I like setting the time limit to 20 minutes. If you want to have really long or cool games, you can set it to none. But 20 minutes, it's going to decide who wins based on who has the most captures, if there's not already the certain amount of captures that you want. Alright, score to end is how your win condition. Score to end is how you're going to win the game. How each team will win the game. What they need to do to win the game. So I have it set to a score of 5. Join in progress. This is again something you can choose if you want or not. I just like letting them spawn just in case your friend shows up late by a second. You don't have to restart the game. So I say just keep it on spawn. Spawn location, make sure it's on spawn pads. Post game spawn location, island starts, auto starts. I just keep that off. You can start the game whenever you want. So again, here's the health, infinite ammo off, resources off. You don't want them being able to build. That sort of ruins capture the flag a lot. So make sure you turn allow building off. Make sure it's off. Environment damage, turn it off. That means they can't break stuff, they can't pickaxe stuff. Now this is an important one when it comes to having a class-based capture the flag. You need to have keep items when eliminated to delete. That way, when they're dropped, they aren't actually there. They just delete instantly. So there's no items being left on the ground. Now, allow items to be dropped stops people from taking more than one class. So keep that off. Allow item pickup, make sure that's on. Respawn time, make sure that's on 1 second. You can put it on more, but because of the distance between the spawn area and the capture room, there's no need for it to be on more. Now this is very important. Make sure the spawn immunity time you have set to 0. That way when they hit the elimination zone, it actually deals damage and that they're not invulnerable to it. I have fall damage set as on. Doesn't matter too much, but really that's up to you. Redeploy off. Jump fatigue I have as off. Player names and location keep as team only. Health granted on elim. You can choose this. I have it set to 10 just so it's pretty minuscule so someone can't just never die. So I have it just set to 10. It also goes 25, 50, and so on. I'm just going to keep it at 10. And then make sure allow manual respawning's on. Just in case someone wants to change their class, you want to allow that. Next we have UI settings. All this is up to you. It's all just times and how long the scoreboard stays up for. These two change to score so you can see how many captures a team has and then the win condition so that the right team gets the victory royale message. And that's going to do it. So now you know how to set up your own classes as well as make your own capture the flag game mode. I hope you enjoyed the content. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below next type of video you want to see me do. Also, if you guys want to play this Ancient Greece capture the flag map, I'll leave the code down in the description, so go check that out.